Okay, has anyone got any questions? Julian, unmute and speak it out loud while I sort myself out. Oh, you don't have to, that's really.
You're assuming that I don't need to sort myself out, Vicky. What was I saying? Sarah, I mean, it sounds like a lot, but I collect ideas in little snippets and little bits throughout the week, and I just collect them in an Evernote folder. So then when I write the week's emails, like a lot of it actually is just copy pasting it and just getting it into the right place, and then just adding calls to actions and things. Some of the emails I wrote completely new this time. I think 3 out of 6 I wrote completely new. 3 were basically already done from stuff that I'd done previously. I also do group coaching calls once a week for my members, and collect all the questions, and most of my daily emails are based on those. So that makes it a lot easier.
Thanks, Julian. I'm going to add to that because I have a really cool system as well. I also use Evernote, but I use something for my daily emails, which works better for me because it's more organized. I have a Trello board. In fact, I can share my screen and show you my Trello board because I think you might find it useful. Let's have a look. Okay. Can you see my Trello? I can't see you anymore, so.
I'm seeing Amazon KDP.
Amazon KDP.
It's like a password manager.
It shouldn't be. Hang on.
I'm going to steal your passwords, Vicky.
It'll be all asterisks.
Yeah, they're all asterisks. Hang on. Share that desktop this time. This is, I get confused. Okay, now you should be able to see the Trello board.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what I do. I have like a theme for each day, and then every time I have any kind of an idea, so I will plan them out. But I also have I just dump my ideas into this Trello. I was like, oh, this would be a good one for Thursday truths. As you can see, I have quite a lot of shit in there. My Flamingo Friday, same thing. If I see something that catches my eye, that's where it goes. I find this really, really useful because it means I basically never run out of ideas. Because even if I haven't got anything in like Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll just go into Thursday, which seems to be my dumping ground for anything that either makes me cross or I think is going to be, you know, a little bit more controversial. So that works really well for me. It's kind of it's a way of organising the ideas that I dump into Evernote. Monica.
No, I was just saying I had exactly the same conversation with a lady who emailed me off my email list because she worked out that my 2000th daily email will be the end of October. And she's like, oh my God, you've got 3 kids. How the hell do you write daily emails? And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, don't get me wrong, the first ones were like, it took me like an hour and then an hour to get brave enough to send it, and then an hour hiding under the covers after it was sent. And whereas now, if I sit down and write email, it's like 10 minutes.
Yeah. So, and it's kind of like the more you do it, the quicker you get.
But the other thing I was explaining to her is that thinking about what you want to write and actually sitting down and putting the words out are 2 completely different processes. They are for me. Because even though I've been singing and dancing with a 2-year-old, I know I've been using that to think about my email. And so when I sit down and type it, it's actually very quick. They're not, those of you on my email list will attest to the fact that they're not like massively deep all the time. Sometimes they're pretty crazy. Sometimes they are a little too confessional. But yeah, they're definitely, what I was explaining was, again, in the 80-20 rule, that a lot of the time we get really obsessed with having long stretches of time or lots of space, and actually thinking about doing something and actually doing it. If you separate the tasks, you can think about doing things while you're doing lots of other things. And so where I was helping her bust the myth that as a mum I've got less time than everyone else to do stuff, I've got exactly the same amount of time. I just have a little child's booty in most of my time, but nonetheless, in terms of time to think about my business or think about content or those kinds of things. Everyone's all got 24 hours. So don't be obsessed with sitting down in front of your keyboard and then starting to write. You can do that thinking anywhere, and as a result of that, you really reclaim your time back.
Yeah. And you don't have to, because I used to plan all of my emails out as well, like in detail, in the same way that I would with a book chapter and stuff. I don't do that anymore, because like I said, the more you do it, the less you have to do the structural stuff, especially for things like daily emails. That's part of the reason, I mean, I don't do them every day, but that's part of the reason we do things so regularly. It's like, if I'm going to write a longer form article, I will absolutely plan that out because it needs more planning. But for the emails, it's much more of a repeated conversational piece that keeps the relationship going, and it doesn't need to be overly structured. If I'm going to write a longer one, then I will probably plan it out properly. But yeah, like Yinka said, a lot of the thinking and stuff you can do. I'm always thinking about, oh, that would make a really good email. Oh, I've just heard something on the radio. Oh, I could write it. And it just goes into my bullet journal, and it's like literally everything that I hear that I think, oh, that's interesting, goes into my notebook and then onto my Trello board if I'm not on my computer. And that's how I have so many ideas, and that's how it's. Don't get me wrong, some days I'm just like, oh, what the hell am I going to write about? I'll just go into my Trello board on my Evernote and be like, oh, that one was interesting. And that's the thing that I come up with. Does that help?
Yeah, no, thanks. I think because I used to do daily emails, and then I kind of switched my focus and was doing daily emails. And then my current audience, I got a lot of unsubscribes and saying that there were too many. And I think now I'm doing them weekly. It works for my audience, but I also put more pressure on myself to get that one email done really well. Whereas when I was doing them daily, I put less pressure because I thought, oh, if I do a quick one today, then I'll do something else tomorrow, and you've got more chance, if you like, to kind of.
I don't know your audience, and I also know that you do is it translation things, German?
Yeah,
things?
my emails go to other translators rather than.
Okay. I'd let the ones who find it too much. I mean, I don't know again what CRM you use. There are a couple of CRMs that let you decide, oh, I want it 3 times a week, blah blah blah, whatever. But I cannot, even for people who don't necessarily want to send them every day, I would recommend writing them. Like, write them, send them. You write yourself better. You take the pressure off any single email. It's a completely different kettle of fish in so many ways. I'm laughing at myself now, saying to people how often I say just write the emails daily, just write and send them daily. He agreed.
We all agree.
Another really good bonus. Yeah, to me, that is a really good bonus for writing the emails every day. It's like it isn't just for marketing purposes, it's also for practice. And then you've got this amazing bank of your own writing that you can use literally anywhere. So next time, because I know you struggle with your newsletters sometimes, so if you're writing a daily email every day, and then you're like, oh, I don't know what to put in this newsletter, it's like, look at all of these things that I haven't actually sent to anybody. I've got all of this stuff that I can then turn into a longer piece. And of course, you can put it in LinkedIn as well, or Zing, or whatever it is that you use. It could be like a LinkedIn post. So yeah, don't just write for other people, write for yourself as well.
Ben Settle says he tracks unsubscribes is like the main metric that he tracks, and he says the more unsubscribes he gets, the more money he makes.
Yeah, so many people say it, like, unsubscribe is, I don't know, again speaking to someone else about this, because they're like mortified. You're like, oh, it hurts you in the heart. Actually, you know what? Not really. Like, I mean, there are some what's it called, mailing lists that are really sticky, like Seth Godin. He's been writing daily emails, I think, for almost 20 years now. Some crazy metric like that. He still gets unsubscribed, and the fact is, yeah, if you as a human can unsubscribe from a Seth Godin daily email, that says more about you than Seth Godin. So from that, people are in the they're in their own minds, they're in their own lives, they're doing what they want. It's not, we take them so personally, and every single one is mortified, but actually it's people are voting with their feet. You don't want everyone, you want who's for you, and that's actually quite a different thing. The only way they get to find out if they are for you is by subscribing in the first place, testing it out and voting. It will be so much better. I say this half to you, half to Madame Self. that it's so much better that they literally, you know, they vote with their feet. You're left with people who are, you know, have the opportunity to be like raving fans. Like lots of tepid, uninterested people are that's not preferable to a few absolutely love everything you say, waiting with bated breath for your messages people.
And knowing what I want your audience as well, Sarah, that will work even better for you, because translators are kind of, from what you've told me, from what I've seen, translators are kind of like copywriters and a couple of other creatives, in that they are like, oh, this isn't going to work for me, and they're quite an entrenched group. And so all the better to get rid of that lot, because they're just never going to do what you want them to do. They're never going to join one of your programs and, you know, pay you money to teach you to do the things. You want the very small number of people who are like you, because like you are an outlier in your industry. You know this because you've spoken at loads of industry events, and you know we've spoken a lot about that kind of mindset that a lot of the translators have. You're not the only one. You are, you know, a beautiful unicorn, but you're not the only beautiful unicorn, and there are going to be other people like you. And if you can find them, which you will do through your writing and your daily emails, then that's perfect. All the others can unsubscribe and go and whinge on their Facebook page, which is what they do. And also, on the note of Seth Godin, not all of your emails have to be long. You're on his email list, right? They're super tiny and really thoughtful. And so if you're, you know, they don't have to be a longer email. Sometimes, like I sometimes look at his stuff and I'm like, I would just like to do some shorter ones than that. So maybe I will make my own life a little bit easier by just like putting a simple thought out there and leaving it to float away once a week. I might do that. So yeah, they don't have to be big things.
It takes a bit of bravery to do really short emails. I've noticed, for me personally, I definitely find it. I'll do them really short, and I'm like, they're gonna think I'm cheating. So then I'll add a few more words to explain it, and then a few more, and a few more. And it's same, like, you can just make them really short. Like the point is that, you know, it's impact, not it's quality, not quantity. So you can make them super short. His one-liners are always like. So I'm going to practice a few more one-liners myself, I think.
The thing with Seth Godin's email is that he makes a point, but then 1,000 or 10,000 different points are taken away by the audience. He says his thing, then you bring in your own examples and stories and take it where it needs to be. Which is something I often forget and have to remind myself, which is that I try to take the audience sometimes hand by hand over the exact thing that is in my head. Whereas they have their own experience and their own things that they will take from it. And if I give the outline like Seth Godin does, they will make it their own, and that can often be stronger than what I was going to do. And I can't control that.
Yeah, and that is, I think it's nice to have that as a goal for a lot of your writing, is that you want people to identify with what you're writing, but also take their own point away from it, which is a really great thing for a writer to be able to do. Whether that's in longer form or shorter form. Tam, just very quickly, if you're using like something like MailChimp or something like that, it is really irritating when people report you for spam, but don't worry about it, because if they've actually signed up to your mailing list, they are A, idiots for, you know, reporting you for spam, because it's like, well, you asked for these, and B, it won't be counted as spam because your mailing list can actually see that they have signed up for it, so it's not like you're sending them unwanted stuff.
Yeah, it was really annoying because, I mean, I get unsubscribes every now and again. In fact, it was really funny because I got one because I mentioned I was a vegetarian in one of my emails, and I got unsubscribed straight away. I was like, oh, maybe you're in the hunting fraternity. I don't know. Maybe you just don't like my vegetarianism. But that's all right. Like it does. I used to obsess over it. If I got an unsubscribe, I was like, oh, what have I said that people don't like? But like, I don't worry about it so much now. But yeah, the report spam thing was like really annoying. It's like, you signed up to this. What, like, why are you reporting me for spam? I haven't just plucked your email list out of the air and started sending you random dog related emails. But it hasn't happened for a while, but it was very annoying when it did happen.
Yeah, so you kind of get used to it. It's like, it does wash over you. I remember the first few unsubscribes I got when I first started sending daily emails, which was back in 2014. And it was such a long time ago. And it was just like you said, it was mortifying. It's like, oh, they hate me. And then it's just like, they don't know me. I don't know them. I don't care. So you just have to kind of keep reminding yourself of that. Plus the whole, they're not my tribe and all the rest of it. I'm just going to really quickly we'll maybe do writing with confidence in full on Monday. But something that Yinka said just struck me, that there is bravery and brevity, which is a little phrase I just made up and really like. Bravery and brevity. That's one of the things actually that can undermine the confidence that people have in your writing is waffle. And you might not think that you're waffling, but if you write too much, then that for me, and this is, I'm constantly editing my clients' stuff in books. It's like, we're going to shorten that because it just reeks. You know, when somebody isn't confident about what they're talking about and they just go on and on and on and on and on and on. And it's like, okay, you're over explaining now and we can make this really succinct. And there's a whole bunch of other ways that we can do that. But if you can be brief in what you're saying, then that really speaks to confidence. So, and that just struck me because I was like, oh, I'm adding that bullet point onto my thing that I'll do on Monday if nobody asks anything else on Monday, which will be
something I think I need to practice, Vicky, keeping them shorter. My average daily email length is about 600 words at least. They are really long all the time.
That doesn't necessarily mean that they're too long though, because I'm not saying that.
I've just got too much to say on every topic. I just can't help it.
I mean, mine have gotten I started on the 11th of May 2015, and that the emails that week averaged at about 1,200 words, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is ridiculous. I'm gonna write 1,000 words in like whatever. But you know, over time, like the shortest, and again, because I'm a geek, so I actually do count the words in my email. But the shortest has been like, I think 50 words. And again, had the most impact, like, and people, and I can't even remember the exact, but yeah, it's just brevity, bravery in brevity. I'm totally nicking that, Vicky. I will quote you when I do, but that will be going out into daily email, and I'm not even going to say any more than that. So, but 3 words, that's as brave as it gets.
I'm going to steal it and use it too.
You can all steal it. I gift it to you.
Thank you.
I steal everything that Vicky does.
There's an existing phrase in comedy which is brevity is levity.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes. Also true.
Now you've made it a little bit longer. I'm going to have to put that in too.
Tomorrow's email can be on brevity is levity. Today's going to be on brief is brave.
Yes. Right, that was a really good topic. Thank you for asking that question, Sarah. Because yeah, daily email is always a good topic, writing regularly, all of that good stuff. And then on Monday, should nothing else crop up, I will do the writing with confidence thing, because I think it's really important. It is really important. I'm removing the words "I think" to give you a little teaser as to what's coming on Monday. So
Vicky, I take it you think it's your opinion that maybe we might like that it could be that this is the way it is?
Exactly. That is exactly right. Cool. Right. It's almost 8:30. So thank you so much, everyone. Really good chats as per usual. Have a wonderful weekend and a fantastic Friday. And I will see you all on Monday morning at 7 a.m.
Bye.
Bye.